EGM Network.
Hi, everyone. This is Mary Lou Ciambriello, and this is Cottage Conversations. Today, we're going to be speaking about curb appeal, and I brought my good friends here and great realtors to talk to you about what you need to do to make your home more appealing. We call it love at first sight. So, Francine, if you do me a favor and introduce yourself and tell us something special about you, and then we're going to go to Jennifer, who's very special as well. Go ahead.
All right, I'm Francine McElhenny, and I work at Remax Crown Realty with Mary Lou and Jennifer. And something special about me is I love to travel. And I actually, when I was injured, I became a travel advisor. So I
travel all over the place.
I try to, and I have to sell houses too. So I sell houses, and I just kind of view myself as a dream maker. So the dream maker of houses and the dream maker of sending you somewhere beautiful for travel.
Excellent.
Is what I like to do, and
we'll go from there.
So,
okay,
yep.
let's okay, Jennifer, it's your turn now. Tell us something special about you. We know you make friends. Okay, we're done with that now. Okay, so go on to something else.
My name's Jennifer Arteaga, realtor with Remax Crown Realty, and some things about me that people might not know is I can read and write Spanish. And I can drive stick shift.
I can drive stick shift too. In fact, I learned on stick shift. Okay. I haven't driven stick in a long time though. Okay. We're going to get right into curb appeal. We're going to call it love at first sight. Curb appeal is extremely, extremely important. And as realtors, when we go to the front door, we just naturally look at the house and see all the things that have to be done. And believe it or not, it's going to be difficult for us to explain this to you because it's so it comes like breathing to us. But we're going to go in. You're going on a listing appointment. We'll start from that. So you pull into the driveway. What is the first thing you do? I'm asking this of you, Francine.
I walk up to their front door, and if the bushes or if it's a mess or there's, I visually look at everything around the house to see what the house looks like.
What needs improvement. Right,
and
exactly.
Because it gives me a kind of an idea of what I'm going to see inside.
And then how about you, Jennifer? What do you do?
Well, personally, my husband and I keep a leaf blower right by our front door. Mm-hmm. So we're constantly leaf blowing just to keep the driveway clean and the walkway clean, trimming our bushes.
It's very important that people understand that curb appeal it really and truly is how we sell a home. The minute it's the first impression, and so when they drive up and they see a house, they're either going to say, yes, I want to go in, or no, or if it's kind of shabby looking, they're going to say, well, the inside's probably the same way as well. So there's so many things that we need to focus on. I myself have a list, okay? It's pressure clean, mulch, and mow. Those are the three primary things that have to be done. How about you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other thing I do is I worry about the walkway when they go in. I want to make sure that the walkway is clear, that they're not, wrestling or going around the bushes to get into the front door. So you want to make sure that is clear as well. So there's all kinds of things that we talk about. One of the things that we also talk about is what do they need to remove from that front area or from the, from the curb appeal in general, whether it be in the front or the back. But Jen, we're speaking pretty much about the front. What would you recommend that they not have out front?
If they can move their garbage cans to the side of the house.
It's not an accessory. Yeah, trash is not an accessory. Yeah, we can put that away.
That would be the number one thing I would have them remove.
Yeah. And how about you, Jennifer?
I would say kids' toys, bikes.
Exactly.
Just make it look nice and clean.
Exactly.
Keep those belongings in the garage.
And I use exactly a lot. I've been watching some of my podcasts, and I have to find another word. I don't have one yet, guys, but for right now, you're going to have to deal with exactly. And then the other thing that we also do is I want them to check the light bulbs on their exterior lights, make sure that their lights are all working and functioning and that they're all the same light bulb. Okay.
Absolutely.
A new placemat, a new welcome mat at the door. Do you have a pet peeve? Do either of you have a pet peeve?
I do. My pet peeve is when you walk up to the front door and there's leaves or bugs or spiders or the
Spider
frogs,
webs.
mud. Just clean the front door area where people have to walk in.
The
That's
front door is the window of the house. It's the entrance. And how about you, Jennifer?
I would say smell too. For me, odor. You know, when you walk
I can't
up
smell.
to the house.
I
have
broke
a really
my
good
nose 3
sense of
times.
smell.
It just doesn't function. It doesn't smell anymore. Also, the other thing that we don't really think about is gutters.
Keeping
Yes.
your gutters.
You know,
clean.
especially in Vero Lake Estates, you know, those gutters get filled all the time, and I don't like it when the doorbell doesn't work. But so now you've assessed the house, and it's kind of schmuggly. Okay, it's really, you know, it needs a little love. How do you address a conversation with your seller? What do you do? What do you say?
I kind of assess what they're like, you know, and
You work on an
and
approach.
make sure that I have an approach. I kind of make sure that they're able to, you know.
Well, they're generally if they're my clients, they're not able to do anything.
Yeah, well, if they're able to do it, because it might be schmuggly,
Yeah.
if new word, if they're not able. So if they're able, then I bring up the conversation that, you know, they need to clean up the front, and they should do this and that, and, you know, things like that.
But
If
lots
they're
of
not
times
able,
they ask that. Lots of times they help you by saying, "What do we need to do?" Does that happen to you, Jennifer?
Well, if they are older or they don't have access to doing it themselves or people, then we can refer services.
Yeah, but they generally, I find that they'll say, "Well, what do I need to do?" And I generally tell my people, you know, the outside really does matter. I mean, pressure clean everything.
They rely on our help. And
Yeah, they do rely on us. They rely on us all the time. One of the other things I wanted to talk about is washing windows. Okay,
my favorite.
I
hire someone.
these are cheap. Let's do a list of cheap projects that cost you nothing but really do add to your curb appeal. What would you suggest? Let's see.
Nowadays, you know, they do have a lot of products out there that you just fill the jug up and put the hose on, and you can wash your windows. You know, so a lot of you know, there's things that can help with that if they don't like to do those.
Yeah,
items,
exactly.
You know?
And what's a little project that you could say, Jennifer, that they could do that doesn't cost them anything? I mean, you said putting away toys, that doesn't cost them anything. Putting away a trash can doesn't cost them anything. Putting away a hose doesn't cost them anything. There's lots of things. So what are a couple of other things that you could think of? Would you paint the front door? I mean, it costs a little bit of time, but it's not really.
I would freshen up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, rake the leaves, weed.
I saw somebody vacuuming the leaves the other day with a professional vacuum, with one of those big vacuums. I'm going to be doing that.
I did that one day with the shop vac.
It's a shop vac, yeah. I knew it had a name, but I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, I have a lot of leaves as well. So what other things could we be talking about here? If you were, what about the driveway? Now, a driveway is a sore point for me. I like the driveway always to be, if the people are living in the home, I like the driveway to be empty when we're showing for a couple of reasons. One, because there may not be enough parking and we don't want to emphasize that. I mean, they'll already know anyway. But the other is because you want them to get into the house without going around, you know, whatever they have. Do you have conversations about that?
I do, and people always make comments on if the driveways are cracked and everything.
They're all cracked.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
They're all cracked.
So, you know, that's kind of like a thing. But I think people move past that because it's just the way that they are.
Now, you said something to me earlier that I thought was pretty interesting, Francine. You said that before you go out and show, you send your people a list of homes to look at. And then, and you've already made appointments to go show them that property, and they'll call you later that evening and say, what do they say to you?
They say, can we take this one off the list? And it's because they drove by and the curb appeal it was awful. And they just don't.
And of course, it wasn't your listing. I want to emphasize it wasn't her listing. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, so they'll take houses off the list if they don't like something from the outside. So curb appeal does matter. First impression does make a big difference. You got to think about everything that we do in our life. We take first impressions about it. So, you know,
I
so and it's the same for your house. So if a lot of people do a lot of stuff inside the house to make it special for the people, but you really need to think about doing the outside as well.
And then Jennifer, what are things that, you know, have you ever pulled up to a house and they've overdone the curb appeal? They've got like too many gnomes out there, too many statues, lots of things going on. Have you run into that situation? Because I know
have, where, you know, it just looks a little too cluttered. And they always say less is more.
Exactly.
So looks more appealing
and
from the exterior.
And you don't want to be political
interior.
either. You know, I always tell my people, I don't be political when we're selling our home.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that.
I've had people, if you have too many plants, I know you love plants, but there are people that really love them and they have a whole bunch of plants around.
And it's not attractive. It's not.
And a lot of people, though, you're taking about, you know, more than half of your population out to buy that home because they don't want to take care of all them plants. They don't want to weed and they don't want to have all of that. And a lot of times, because you're busy doing stuff to move, you're not taking care of them. And so they do get overgrown and ruggy and stuff like that. So you have to be really mindful of the less is more is the better approach. But none is definitely not the way to go either.
Because what do they think when they see nothing done?
They think that there's nothing in the house. So
they've done nothing everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah. So you really don't want to go the opposite way either. You got to have a fine little balance. You probably want to keep maybe the same as what the neighborhood is holding. As far as what your curb appeal should be.
Okay, and talk about house numbers and the mailbox for me, Jennifer. Go ahead, because that's big for me. I paint flags. I carry red paint. I paint the mailbox flags. I can't stand a faded mailbox flag. I don't know why. It's just a thing. Okay, but how about for you?
I don't know. I've never really thought about the mailbox.
Really? Well, now you will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
now I will be paying attention.
Yeah. The numbers, if they're faded, if there's not one there, if you can't see the number of the house. That's kind of a thing.
Well, I have a house coming up now and I'm missing a 1. So I have to go buy a 1 at Home Depot. Do you trim? You know, I carry a blower. People ask me why I have a blower in my car, and it's because whenever I go to my houses to show, I'm out there blowing whatever, you know, ever is away, whether it be in the front or the back and that type of thing. And
it's a neat tool to have.
I love that thing.
I mean, we keep it right outside our front door.
I'm not talented with it, though. I just don't. I see some people whizzing by, and I'm just sort of like, they just don't seem to go where I want them to go. You know, and I've been doing it for years. So let's talk about stains on the driveway. Okay. Do you ever get comments about? I'm really
oil stains.
Yeah, that type of thing.
Grease stains.
Yeah.
We pressure washed our driveway, had it painted with like a textured paint, and it just looks so nice.
That's
nice and clean. And,
was that expensive?
We bought a 5-gallon jug. I can't remember what I paid
for it. Probably like $130, yeah, so, somewhere in there. So I mean,
it's quite inexpensive to make the driveway look appealing.
It does a nice job of freshening up the house, so that when you're leading into the property, that you feel that you've done something nice. When I stage my homes, I do a lot of staging, you know, on the exterior, and I'm a clean freak. I don't apologize. I am a clean freak. But I've now started to pot. I'm using pots now because my bill for planting plants is, you know, usually somewhere around $200. So
wow.
I now have pots, and I just bring them to each particular house. I have to bring them. Having a house staged today, or a photos taken today, and I am bringing a plant over to put by the side of the garage, and it will be in a pot so I can remove it.
That's very smart, so you can transport them.
Well, it's also economical because after a while, you know,
absolutely,
there's just so much you can do. And what do you say to buyers when they come up to a house and you know that it just might be the right home for them, but it is schmuggly outside, okay? What do you say?
I always encourage my folks to go inside, no matter what it looks like. I try to make them, understand that pictures are deceiving and that they need to go inside and take a look too, because they might really love the inside, and those things that we're mentioning can be fixed. And you mentioned, Jennifer mentioned some economical ways to fixing those things, so they can be fixed. And Jennifer mentioned we can help them out with somebody that can help them fix those things at an economical price.
Should I stop now, Jesse? Okay, we're going to stop now for a little commercial break, and then thank you, Jesse.
I hope. Can you cut that out?
Hi there, Mary Lou Ciambriello again. I have a few tips for you. Those of you that live in Bureau Lake Estates or in Sebastian, you should be getting these on a regular basis. These are my postcards. So I wanted to give you some tips on what you could do with my postcards. First of all, you can do this. You can take this and you can throw it out, or you can do the right thing, and that would be to recycle it. Secondly, it's a little far, it's a little hot. You can always use it as a fan. Or you can be like my girlfriend, Linda, and she thinks she's funny, and she sends me a picture every time she gets a postcard, and she uses it as a placemat. You get enough of them, you probably have placemats. But more importantly, I have a proven track record. These are all the homes that I've sold. Whenever you get this postcard, you'll notice there's different homes on here. So if you're looking for a realtor, the purpose of this card is for you to keep it, and when you do need a realtor, give me a call. Thank you so much. You have the best day ever, and it is a little hot in here. Have the best day. Ciao for now.
Okay, guys, so let's switch gears for a little bit, and let's talk about a place that you would recommend to people that are new to the area. Would you, I would recommend McKee Gardens because I love going there, and I don't get to go there often enough, but I just love walking through it. And there's another place that I really love too. If I'm having a really, really, really bad day, there's two places I go to, either the beach or to Rock City. And have you been to Rock City?
I've been to Rock City.
I love Rock City. Rock City is a, for those of you that don't know, they sell plants. So what do you call it?
Nursery.
Nursery. It's called a nursery. Okay. And it's on US 1, and just walking in there is just, it just makes my day. It's just,
I love it.
I love Rock City.
Plants make me so happy.
Yeah. Well, plants make me happy too, but I don't make them happy. They die. But that's, that's me. But go ahead. So, Francine, where would you recommend people to go if they were new to the area?
I actually like the history of the area. So the 1715 fleet for that all the coins and everything like that was lost.
The museum.
So the museums, and there's two. There's the one that's Mel Fisher right in Sebastian and on US 1, and then there's the one that's over by the beach.
I didn't know about the one on the beach.
McCurry, I think it is. I could be saying it wrong.
I didn't know about that either.
But that one is an awesome one as well. So I think the history of Sebastian
that sounds like a lot of fun.
Of our county is really, really cool.
Yeah, because we're called the Treasure Coast. Why?
Because of the treasure.
They found treasures on the end of our coast.
They still find treasure.
Yeah, well, the treasure is here when they buy a house from us.
Yes.
Okay, so how about you, Jennifer?
I would recommend the beach, Wabasso Beach. I go every morning for sunrise. It's very peaceful. I meet people from all over. How do you get out of the house
that early?
I do it for two reasons. I do it for my relationship with the Lord and to take my dog. Oh. He loves the beach. He loves getting in the water. And I just feel some kind of discipline getting myself to the beach.
I think that's amazing. I'm up at 5:30 every day, but, I'm not dressed till like 10. And I'm very productive, but I'm not dressed. So
don't worry, she's dressed now.
I have clothing on right now. Yeah, I try to wear clothes out in public. I don't want to scare anyone. But anyway, okay. Realtors have a really sharp eye, and So when we go in, we're going to see things when we go onto the property. We're going to see things that maybe the owner doesn't see, or maybe not even the buyer might see. But the reason I bring that up is because we have a sharp eye, we notice a lot of little things, and all those little things add up to a lot, add up to one big problem. So what do you do when you go in and you notice a lot of little things? Do you send an email? Do you give a checklist? I mean, I have a photographer, and she, I love her. She's amazing. However, she hands me a list to hand to my sellers when we do photos and says, this is what you have to do if you want me to take your photos. Do you have like a list of things that you have that you check off as you go through the property? I know we get a sheet when we go in. Do you have anything like that, Jennifer?
I don't really have a checklist. I will jot down what I think needs to be taken care of and see how I can help them achieve that.
Mm-hmm.
I love to plant, like I said, so sometimes I will even do things like that myself.
A pop of color and the coming in is really a big deal because it makes the house feel happy.
Pull some weeds for them. I just did that on my listing in Barefoot
That's
Bay.
every open house. That's what I do at open houses. I pull weeds.
Absolutely. And I brought my leaf blower.
Your leaf blower.
I was leaf blowing her driveway.
I know. Well, I like a clean driveway. I like a clear path. When you're walking into the house, the bushes should be trimmed. You should not be, navigating and, worrying about things touching you. You don't like cobwebs, Francine. You have a big thing with cobwebs, and that's a big problem here. A broom.
Little broom to dust them down, especially if I'm at an open house and I see them. I go through their little closet and see if I can find a broom to get the cobwebs off.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily have a pre-written checklist because every house is different.
Exactly.
And the ability of the client that I'm going to is different. So I go over things that I see that maybe they should improve on. I tell them that if there is something that is a pet peeve that is like they know is wrong in their house, that they should get it fixed. And if they need a handyman or something to help them, then I can help them address that. But if they know something is wrong, it's going to be brought up. My thing to them is it's going to be brought up. Even if it's brought up in inspections, it's going to be brought up. So they might as well just do it now to not have that one little tiny negative thing on their inspection, which makes, people a lot happier because it's just taken care of, and it's not even right.
Because
that's
our
a good
job,
point, Francine.
and our job as realtors is to solve a problem before it becomes a problem, and that's what a great realtor does. A good realtor solves a problem. A great realtor avoids it totally and tries to get it done beforehand. Everybody, I just really want to thank my guests. I want you all to understand how important curb appeal is, and you want somebody to love your house at first sight. So please take that into consideration. The other thing I want to talk about is at the end of my podcast, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, you're going to see a PSA. It is extremely important to me and to so many people who have lived this horror. So I would hope that you'd look at it and help me spread the word. And to my friends here, I cannot thank you enough for being here today.
Yes, thank you very much.
And if you're looking to buy a home, I always say this: home is the best. It's the most wonderful word, and we all love coming home. And if you want to buy a home, think of any one of us. We'd love to help you. You have the best day ever, and ciao for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Best day we go.
Searching for a pet-friendly home with style? Welcome to 115 Briarcliff Circle in Sebastian, located in Ashbury, a gated community, and the monthly HOA is just $84. Be sure to review pet restrictions for breed and pet size.